On the 492nd day of the war in Ukraine, the fighting was mainly concentrated in these areas. Today, everyone's attention was focused on the Bakhmut front. During the last hours, the offensive actions of the Ukrainian forces have increased significantly in the areas north and south of Bakhmut. In the northern part of the front, the Ukrainian army has pushed strongly in the areas north of Yakovlivka, reportedly gaining several hundred meters, and at the same time, fighting is reported in the Zalizyanske-Berkivka line. In the area between the village of Orikovo-Vasilivka and Zalizyanske, it is reported that even today the Ukrainian forces continue to make some small advances near the Slovyansk-Bakhmut highway. In the southern part of Bakhmut front, the offensive of the Ukrainian forces is even more intense and it remains concentrated in the Klishivka-Kurdimivka line. Precisely in this area, it is reported that the Ukrainian forces have crossed the Siversky-Donetsk canal in two directions, west of Klishivka and also west of Kurdimivka, where it is reported that clashes with Russian forces are taking place in the western outskirts of the village. An advance of Ukrainian forces in Kurdimivka will give them the advantage in the coming battles over the control of the southern parts of Bakhmut front. This is because the southeastern part of Kurdimivka is located on higher ground compared to the rest of the areas south of Bakhmut. If Ukrainians do take Kurdimivka, they will secure a key position for the continuation of their offensive towards Bakhmut. On the Zaporizhia front, the news of a small advancement of the Ukrainian forces north of Robotine and Verbove received further confirmation today from other pro-Ukrainian sources. The Ukrainian advance towards Verbove is very important because north of Verbove there is a fortified position of the Russian forces which, if it is taken by the Ukrainian forces, would allow them not only to approach the first line of the Russian defenses in Verbove, but also would allow them to attack Robotine from the east, increasing the pressure on the Russian forces in this part of the front. As for the areas near Pyatikatki, it seems that the fighting has calmed down for now, as both sides are resting and reorganizing after many days of fierce clashes which took place in this area. On Kherson front, this morning it was reported that the Russian forces had undertaken a new offensive to drive away the Ukrainian troops who are located in DACHI. A hit with the Russian Iskander missile on the Antonivsky bridge was reported this morning. However, from the Russian sources' perspective, it is confirmed that this action of the Russian forces was a failure and was considered as an unnecessary and hasty action of the Russian command. It seems that the Russian forces suffered significant losses from the Ukrainian artillery fire during their advancement. Another major problem faced by the Russian troops during this offensive was because the area around DACHI had already been mined by the Ukrainian soldiers, and many of the Russian soldiers, not knowing the situation well, fell into the mined areas and lost their lives. On Donetsk front, fighting continues near the city of Marinka. After a small advance south of Marinka last week, it seems that the progress of the Russian troops had stopped during these last days. It seems that the Russian forces have not been able to take the fortified Ukrainian positions north of Novomikhailivka, which, being located on higher ground, is very important for the control of the entire area south of Marinka. Also, it seems that the Russian offensive towards Pobieda has also been stopped by the Ukrainian army, as reportedly the Ukrainian forces are using plenty of heavy artillery to repel the Russian advance in this area. In Russia, the events linked to the Wagner uprising continue. As reported by several Russian sources, all media outlets owned by Yevgeny Prigozhin and his collaborators are either being closed or taken over by other media outlets which are close to the Russian leadership. It is reported that about 25 Telegram channels, 8 websites including the RIA fan and several VKontakte groups will be either closed or removed from the control of the Wagner group as the purge of Prigozhin's influence in Russia continues. That's all for today's video. Please don't forget to help the channel grow by liking the video and subscribing, and also for those who want to support the channel and get access to more content, you can visit my Patreon page. Thank you.